Hello, this is Mr. Molo for lesson 7-6, adding and subtracting polynomials. So we kind of touched on this a little bit before, but we're just going to be adding and subtracting, which is a lot easier than multiplying and dividing. So our exponents are going to stay the same, and we're just going to add the coefficients in front of them. So if I have a problem like this, where I have 12p cubed plus 11p squared plus 8p cubed, well, I have two sets of p cubed. So 12p cubed and 8p cubed is going to end up giving me 20p cubed. And I still have that 11p squared there. So 20p cubed plus 11p squared is just going to be my final answer. I can't combine them and get, 31p to the fifth. That's not how they work. This is basically just a label. I have, $3 and, 2 apples. They're not going to be the same. P to the 3 and p to the second are not going to be the same, so I can't combine them. Here, you'll see I have a 5x squared and a negative 3x. Can't do anything with those. There's no other x squared. There's no other x's. So I'm just going to rewrite those. But I can't combine my numbers. So I have a negative 6 plus 8, which is going to end up giving me a positive 2. Alright, so make sure we're looking at the sign as well beforehand. So this is a positive 5x squared. That's a negative 6. That's a negative 3x. That's a positive 8. Remember, if we did like same change, right, if I changed that, that would be plus a negative. Same thing here, plus a negative. So we have to pay attention to those signs before the numbers. Alright, here I have 2x to the 8th and 1x to the 8th. So 2x to the 8th minus 1x to the 8th, or plus a negative x to the 8th, however you want to think of it, is just going to leave me with 1 x to the 8th. I have a 7y to the 8th minus a 1y to the 8th is going to leave me with 6y to the 8th. And x's and y's are not the same, so they're just going to stay like that. So we're just really simplifying today, not really solving anything, just simplifying as much as we can. Alright, I have a B3C2, 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 so they're all the same, so I can just add those coefficients. 9 plus 5 is 14, 14 minus 13 is 1, so I have 1 B3C2. Okay, so since they're all the same, I can just treat them like they're all one problem. Sometimes it helps just to write them horizontally instead. So 5x squared plus 4x plus 1 is the same as 2x squared plus 5x plus 2. And then we can kind of just add our way down. You'll see that that'll help once we go back and review chapter 5 and 6 when we're doing elimination and substitution. Should have done that last year a little bit. Just line them up like this. Remember, when we're lining them up and adding different orders, some of us might not add the same way. Some of us might do the 4x and 5x first, or the 1 and the 2 first. It's fine. That's just a commutative property. As long as you're adding them, it can go any way. It doesn't matter. Let's look for one that's going to be a subtracting problem. Fractions, doesn't matter. Still done the same way. There's no trick to it. If I have 1/2 and a 3 over 2, that's going to end up being a 4 over 2. So it's going to be 2a squared. Parentheses aren't going to change this at all. I have a plus b over here and a minus 4b over here, which is going to leave me with a negative 3b. And then a 2 plus 5, which is going to leave me with a 7. The one-time parentheses will change something, is if I have a subtraction sign in front of those parentheses, like this. So if I have the subtraction sign here, that means this is really getting distributed to everything. So remember, just like if I have x, there's a 1 in front of that x. If I have a subtraction sign in front of parentheses, there's a 1 in front of that subtraction sign. So this really means negative 1 times 2x to the third. Negative 1 times negative 3x. Negative 1 times 7. So you'll see it kind of changes all the signs. So this was a positive 2x to the third. now it's negative. It was a negative 3x, now it's positive. It was a positive 7, now it's negative. So we need to distribute that negative 1 to each of those. So you'll see here, this is a positive q squared, but there's that subtracting sign out in front. So it's going to distribute to the positive q squared, making it a negative q squared, and then distribute to the negative 5, making it a positive 5. Okay, so now I have 9q squared minus q squared, which is going to leave me with 8q squared. Alright, and then I have a negative 3q, can't do anything with that, there's no other, just q's around. And then I have a negative 5, which is going to give me a positive 5. So like I said, another way to think of it is just, looking at the two signs. So 7m minus 5m to the fourth. So 7m to the fourth minus 5m to the fourth is going to leave me with 2m to the fourth. A negative 2m minus a negative 5m, so that minus minus is going to be a plus, which is going to leave me with positive 3m squared. And then there's no other numbers, so that means my number is just going to be minus 8. So that minus is going to go to that 8 as well. So plus a negative 8, or I could just say minus 8. It means the same thing. So the only tricky thing about this section is going to be remembering that that negative sign gets distributed to the other set of parentheses.